Breaking news straight from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. It has been discovered that the public view of animals has been drastically affected by Disney's use of them in their movies. From their consumerism choices as well as the overall views of different species, Disney utilizes humanization and lack thereof to leave lasting impressions on all those, both young and old, who have been engrossed in the world of Disney. Now, to begin our adventure into the relationship between Disney, animals, and the public, we're going to start from the beginning, and for Disney, it was all started by a mouse. I, Mickey Mouse, am the central element to all things Disney. It all started with my iconic white gloves, yellow shoes, red pants, and big rounded ears. Disney had become so successful in anthropomorphizing animals that people think that I look more like a human than I resemble a mouse. And now I leave you in the gloves, hands, of these honor seminar students. Take it away, guys. Thanks, Mickey. The presidents of Disney as a whole has been centralized and based upon a mouse that everyone knows and loves. Mickey Mouse is the pillar for Disney, and the conceptualization for Disney has since been expanded. But the question is, has this transformation gone too far? Is Disney too good at making Mickey Mouse human-like? Is he even a mouse anymore? To begin, we will discuss our heroes, from Dumbo the elephant to Mushu the dragon. All protagonists share common traits that make them physically appealing and accepted as the hero. These humanistic traits include wide circular eyes, bright colors, friendly smiles, and rounded bodies. Regardless of the character's real-life animal appearance, their cartoon and amiable character incites emotional attachments to both the character and the species. Similarly, the villains are depicted in a manner that causes viewers to have certain opinions on the character and the species. These villains tend to have squinted eyes, sharp features such as teeth, bear darker colors, and sometimes have out-of-proportion features that discourage attachment. Their frightening appearance is coupled with malicious traits that generally make the public less inclined to support the character or species. Interestingly, the most prominent villains in Disney movies were humans.
In comparison to their real-life counterparts, the lovable characters of Finding Nemo are adorable, with their bigger eyes, rounder bodies, and more vibrant colors. This transformation makes them more appealing for the audience, creating an unrealistic image that people superimpose onto the real species. Notice Bruce, the shark, whose mantra, "Fish are friends, not food," has traits that straddle the line between hero and villain. His smile displays his multiple rows of sharp teeth, but his rounded body creates comfortability with an animal that is one of the great dangers of the ocean. No shark can resist the yummy taste of fish, no matter what code of altruism he tries to stick to. Let's dissect one of our favorite fishy friends, Dory. Dory is a bright royal blue tang with big pink eyes, a little buck tooth, and a rounded body without any sharp edges. All the characters in Finding Nemo are anthropomorphized, making them seem much cuter than they are in reality. This adds to the image that the children have had about these animals and how they impose what they feel during the movie and what they feel in real life when observing and purchasing their fish. The public obsession with these amiable images resulted in increased consumer demand for Dory or Nemo fish. However, this demand is unsustainable and has resulted in population declines in both species. In particular, the Dory fish, also known as the blue tang, are nearly impossible to breed in captivity, meaning that all purchased Dories have been caught from the wild. While clownfish populations have been able to reproduce in captivity, there has been a decrease in Australia's wild clownfish population. Also, clownfish are difficult to maintain, which can lead to increased flushing of fish. Note that many people refer to clownfish as, quote, Nemos and royal blue tangs as, quote, Dories. The world of Disney Pixar has created their own sense of species nomenclature.
We will now shift our focus to the world within the forest. I'm talking about the iconic Bambi and his friends. The idyllic forest imagery and animal interactions in Bambi provides a classic example of how nature can be molded to fit society's partiality to cuteness. This filter has even been termed Bambification because of its prominence in other movies and even in interactions with animals. Following its release, affection for forest animals, and especially deer, has increased as individuals are deluded into believing that forest animals maintain the same relationships as children. The interactions of forest animals is highlighted by the support of Bambi as he learns his first word, bird.
Say bird.
While it is extremely improbable for all of these animals to be in close proximity, let alone teach each other the foundations of language, the growth of Bambi triggers a parental instinct that makes the audience want to protect these forest friends. Conversely, the sharp canines, narrowed eyes, and aggressive behavior of the hunting dogs contributes to their portrayal as villains and kindles an aversion towards hunting dogs and their owners. According to Waller Hastings, there was a backlash to the movie in the hunting community as they accused Bambi of libeling the American hunter. Similar to the general disapproval of hunting, the consumption of deer-related products, mainly venison, has become a topic of controversy. Although venison is objectively a better meat nutritionally, people have become less accepting of consuming Bambi meat. Likewise, people ignore the effectiveness of deer hunting in managing populations and the large ecological footprint of deer. It is important to consider how attachments to Disney characters such as Bambi can have extensive impacts on the products people will consider and the population management tactics they will accept.
In 101 Dalmatians, a happy young couple's quintessential love story is highlighted by their dog relationships. As both Roger and his dog look for partners, the dogs pair like the human story, showing how human emotions and behaviors are projected onto the animals. In the film, all of the puppies are living in the couple's home. However, if thought about realistically, there's no way that 101 puppies could happily spend their time inside of a home built for 2 people. Compare the 2 pictures above. On the left are Dalmatians sleeping in their small space without a care, but on the right, the dogs are struggling to stay healthy. The disjoint in health conditions shows how Disney films can romanticize an issue as grave as animal hoarding, and instill false expectations for the amount of work and care to raise dozens or even 1 Dalmatian. This was the case for Nelson Vergara, who was inspired by the movie and adopted 42 Dalmatians, because while he brought awareness to the stray dogs in Chile, the dogs and the people around him were suffering through his hoarding. With the appeal of the adorable puppies, there was a spike in Dalmatian adoptions after the movie was released. However, Dalmatians are not easy to raise and do not make good household pets, as they are rowdy, destructive, and have serious health issues. As many households are unaware of these caveats, the rise in adoptions came with a parallel rise in Dalmatians that were sent back to shelters.
Remy the rat has taken the heroic role of saving the quality of food. Throughout the film, he teaches the amateur chef Linguini the art of cooking, a practice unique to humans. With such a strong anthropomorphism of a rat, it changes the viewer's opinion on rats and their intellectual abilities. Considering Remy's charismatic and articulate persona, it is reasonable to assume there will be a more positive response to rats by the public. The considerate nature of Remy is demonstrated by his care in washing his hands before fixing the meal. At the same time, his cleanliness counters the inherent dirtiness of wild rats and makes the audience consider it acceptable for a rat to be handling their food. Remy then uses his refined sense of smell to concoct a complex soup, showing another unrealistic standard for the attention animals pay to their food. Following the release of Ratatouille and the friendly disposition of the main character Remy, the number of rats adopted skyrocketed. In France, for example, the number of rats purchased increased 30% in the 3 months after the film was released. The increase in rats as pampered pets is demonstrated by the rat being taken on the walk and strongly contradicts the orthodox role of rats as pests, showing how Disney can represent a foul animal in a positive light. To conclude, we bring it back to the beginning. Mickey, finish this presentation off. We talked a lot about different topics pertaining to many of our favorite Disney characters. In the end, it's quite clear that Disney knows what it's doing in terms of shaping the opinions of its audience. From our friends under the sea to the rats in the kitchen, our animated world has influenced yours, in ways you probably do not even realize. We hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. See you real soon.